Hey, what up everyone, this is MandoAllDay back with another video, and in this video I'll be doing my cosmetic trial for Elektra, and as well as go over the build guide and show you the talents and traits and the items I use for Elektra in order for me to pass the cosmetic trial with infinity points. So let's get right into it. So with Elektra, it's really easy, to be honest with you, passing cosmetic trial, because two of her powers that I'm using are literally one-shot elites and bosses. It's really simple. So if you're new to this game and you're struggling with cosmetic trial, I highly recommend getting Elektra and playing with her, because you can easily pass cosmetic trial. So you notice how these enemies are marked. All I do is S, D, and they're literally one shot and kill them just like that. So that's how easy it is to pass cosmetic trial with Elektra. So if you get an S, D, just make sure it's only on the marked enemies. So signature right here, gonna do a lot of damage, and then you go S, D. It's that simple. It's really that simple. So if you're playing this game and you're struggling with cosmetic trial, I highly recommend you obtain Elektra, because you can one-shot enemies just like so, and it just makes things so much easier. Here, and then just do signature here to kill these enemies. Look, it's just this simple. Watch. Alright, enemies are marked S, D. I missed them. Oops, my bad. That's alright. All I gotta do is, the enemies are marked. Simple. It's S, D. That's simple and easy peasy, like I usually say. So rotation is really simple. A, whenever you can, make sure you're using full charges. Okay, I'm gonna use signature right here. Now, again, whenever you have an enemy that are marked, you can use S or D, but you can't one-shot the bosses. So I would say the way, or what I recommend, excuse me, is that when you have marked S, but make sure you're invisible, because I have a talent here that when you're invisible and you use one of your powers that do one-shots, they do critical hit chance, which is always a good thing. So when you're fighting enemies like right here with Madam Hydra, look at that easy. So for instead of using my D like normally do right away, make sure I'm invisible, and then D, and get the critical. Invisible, S, and invisible, and then just get that critical hit. And that's really it. It's just A whenever you can. F and G powers do cause to mark enemies. And before you do S or D, make sure you're invisible, like so. So right now it's marked. Dash away, invisible, and then just do your power, and that's really it. It's really simple. And I'm not even using a fully decked out Elektra. I'm using, I think, 4 items out of 5. Okay. There you go. Like that. Signature here. So it's really easy with her. That's why I like to play with her. So if you're struggling with cosmetic trial, highly recommend getting Elektra, because it's easy to pass cosmetic trial, and it's a good way to, for new players to get into the whole cosmic control zone, get those great artifacts, and level up those item grade legendary 80s, and get a lot of XP too. Away, pass, G, go away, D. So it's really simple. A whenever you can. So remember, F and G powers do give you a mark. Move away, S power. Signature here. So fairly easy. Move away, S, F, G, move away, D. The reason why I say move away is because my moving power causes me to become invisible, or stealth, excuse me. Oops, wrong power. Signature, and that should be on. See? Now keep in mind, I'm using 4 out of the 5 slotted items, so I'm missing 1 item, but you can still pass cosmetic trial. Just with 4 out of the 5. For these enemies, simple. Just use any powers. Don't use signature. You could if you wanted to, but I'm not. I'm just trying to kill these guys. I'm not too worried about these. Right here, signature here, just to kill as many enemies. Then S, D.
I strike at your heart.
Oops, wrong button. Those will be medkit.
Here it comes.
S, D.
You couldn't pay me to do that.
And the good thing is, when my team up, it brings them together, so I can do a lot of damage. Do the same thing here. Mark the enemies. I'll do signature right here. Another R here. S, D, F, G, A. And that's really it in main spender. So simple rotation, which I'll go over in the build guide video. But it's really, really simple. We're almost done. These guys are even much easier too. So over here, let's go S, D, so that 2, down. It's that simple. S. Alright, one more to go. I'll do signature over here, why not? Just to do some damage. Oh, there we go, that's it. So the enemies are easy to kill. And just do again. Same thing we did with Adam Hydra. When you mark enemies, or in this case the bosses, move away, become stealth, and then use those powers, SD power, and to get that critical hit chance, and that's it really. And signature, kind of further away, but it's okay. Even with the Sentinel 2, it's really easy. Which I'll show you in a bit, which I know he's coming soon. Alright, no. So what we do is here, wait a little bit. Boom. S. Look at that. So like I said, and then just ultimate here. Like I usually always say, use your ultimate after the first Sentinel. Right move away. Move away. So easy. Easy, we're here. This side, and then do S power. Look at that, one shot. So it's fairly easy. And when I say easy peasy, I literally mean easy peasy because it doesn't take them. It doesn't take much to do Cosmic Trial. Now keep in mind, this is even using a fully, not even a fully decked out Elektra. So you can imagine how easier it would be with having using my Infinity Points, all uniques, and so forth, and blessing all my artifacts, and just overall fully built, do a fully built Elektra. And yeah, there you go. That's it. Like I said, easy peasy. Let me go real quick here. Alright, so let me show you right there. Like I said, 4 out of the 5 slaughtered items. Alright, and then I'll show you that no infinity points were used. Alright, there you go, and on to the build guide.
Come here. It's worth your while.
Now on to the build guide. So the first thing we're going to look at are the artifacts. So the first artifact is Mayhem Demon Blood. I'm using this for the damage rating increase to melee powers. Also when you get plus 10 stacks, you gain plus 2 fighting, plus 2 speed, and this also increases my health. Overall, really good stats from this artifact because it grants you, as I mentioned, great stats for your melee powers and health increase, but also 2 for the plus 2 fighting, plus 2 speed when you gain 10 stacks. That's good because those are our main attributes, which are fighting and speed. So overall, really good artifact. The next one is Gem of the Curse. I'm using this for the critical hit rating increase, brutal damage rating, brutal strike rating, critical damage rating. Overall, this is a really good artifact with great stats that can really help out Elektra. And next is Scroll Imposter's Nick Fury Medallion. I'm using this for the damage rating increase to range powers, critical hit rating increase, brutal damage rating, brutal strike rating, critical damage rating, physical defense rating increase, deflect rating, health increase, and dodge rating increase. Again, overall, really good solid stats for Elektra, but it also grants you +1 to all attributes. Next is Taskmaster's Fighting for Losers Guide. I'm using this for the dodge rating increase, critical hit rating to melee and range attacks, deflect rating increase, defense rating increase, damage rating increase, and base damage increase versus bosses. Again, a solid artifact that can really increases Elektra's stats. And last but not least is Spider Clone Serum. I'm using this for the dodge rating increase, the damage to bosses increase, though the base damage to bosses increase, health regeneration per second, health increase, physical damage rating increase, +2 fighting, and brutal strike rating increase. Again, solid stats from this artifact that can really benefit Elektra. And for the defense, I'm using 800 defense, and I have the Blessing of Valkyrie's Legacy, which grants me +2 health and +2 stamina when you hit an enemy. But also grants you damage rating increase to melee and range powers. Maybe not the ideal blessing, but this is what I use for now. I will probably go with the Power of Dupe for the those extra buffs, but for right now, this is what I used. And for legendary, I'm using Savage Act of Ares. I'm using this for the physical damage rating increase, critical hit rating, brutal strike rating, and brutal damage rating increase. This is a legendary 70, so really good legendary, that really benefits Elektra. For the ring, I'm using a Cosmic Ring that grants me critical damage rating increase and brutal strike rating increase. Now, as I mentioned in the Cosmic Trial portion, I only use 4 items of the 5. So slots 1, 3 are cosmic, slots 2 and 5 are unique. I didn't even use slot 4, yet I was still able to pass Cosmic Trial with this build. So again, as I mentioned in the Cosmic Trial portion, if you have a solid, all the items, you have a solid, really good artifact, basically solid build with Elektra, Cosmic Trial should be breeze. But I was able to pass Cosmic Trial without any infinity points and not even using a not even using slot number 4 item. So keep that in mind. For the costume, I'm using Elektra's Marvel Daredevil costume. For Catalyst, I have it to where I increase my health increase, 10 more credits per drop, +3 fighting. Cosmic, gain a damage shield equal to 50% of your maximum health when you use a med kit. Crafted fixes, critical damage rating as always. Insignia, I'm using Insignia of Eric Grady. When you critical hit, you and your allies gain 308 damage rating for 3 seconds, but this also grants me brutal strike rating and defense rating. And then Flourish, I have Daredevil Spray, which looks like that, which I think it looks pretty cool. Now for the pet, I have it to where I increase 8% of my health, 5 more credits per drop, 2% base damage to range powers. When you move, gain 4% area damage increase and 4% base defense for 12 seconds, and that's it. And then for team up, I'm using Jessica Jones. Alright, for the powers I use, top to bottom, left to right. Say Strike, Wave of Shurikens, Thrown Blade, Behind You, Shadow Strike, Not Even the Stars, Signature, From the Shadows. Again, infinity points, none were used. Now for the hero synergies, Angela for the area damage increase, +1 speed. Cable for the critical hit rating multiplier increase. Colossus for health increase and physical damage rating increase. Hawkeye for the move speed and critical damage rating increase. Luke Cage for the defense rating multiplier increase, physical damage rating increase. Moon Knight for the critical hit rating multiplier to physical powers increase. Rogue for the health on hit, 1 stamina on hit. Squirrel Girl for the damage to bosses increase. War Machine for the +10 stamina, +1 fighting, and Wolverine for the brutal strike and brutal damage increase. Now for the talents and traits, the first row is Shadow Dance. Slip into the shadows, fully restores stamina, and is automatically applied without triggering a cooldown when you use Not Even Stars. So slip into the shadows is this right here. It's basically it's an invisibility, and you kind of get a buff, which when you activate it, you increase your critical hit damage by 50%, damage resistance, and so forth, in a small duration. So what this talent is, whenever you activate signature, which is not even the stars, excuse me, you automatically trigger slip into the shadows. And then slip into the shadows applies quickened, which increases your move speed and attack speed. So overall, what this talent does is pretty straightforward. Is whenever you activate signature power, you automatically activate slip into the shadows. For the second row is Flying Death. Wave of Shurikens, which is my A power. Damage is increased by 100%. You gain 2 charges, has a cooldown of 4 seconds, and critical damage is increased by 50%. So it's overall, it's mainly what I'm using this this talent. It's just for the Wave Shurikens. This also increases the critical damage to Blow Dart, but I'm not using that power. So for the third row is Falling Leaf Strike. From the shadows, and Shadow Strike apply marked to all enemies hit, meaning that whenever I activate from the shadows and Shadow Strike, it applies marked, meaning those little symbols on top of the enemies. And from the shadows, critical hit chance is 10% increase, and Shadow Strike critical hit chance is 10%. So in short, it's pretty straightforward from this talent. When you activate my F and G power, it marks those enemies, but also too, there's a 10% critical hit chance that it's going to be a critical hit. For the fourth row talent is Unseen Demise. Behind you and Thrown Blade always deliver a critical hit if used from stealth. Flow like water, stealth is whatever. I don't even use that power. So I'm using this talent mainly for that particular reason, is that when you activate Behind You and Thrown Blade, which is my S and D power, while in stealth, it becomes a critical hit. And I'll go over that in a bit when I do the rotation, but that's mainly I'm using this talent for that particular reason, for that critical hit strike. And for the fifth row is Warriors of the Chaste. It's a summon, meaning that automatically when you're in combat, you automatically summon 2 Chaste Warriors. I don't want to read the stats, but yeah. Alright, so the rotation, it's really simple.
You couldn't pay me to do that.
So my main spender is, say, Strike. And then Wave Shurikens, activated whenever you can. There you go, those are my summons. Now, as I mentioned, the way this works is kind of, I don't know if it's going to be able to mark it or not, but when you activate Shadow Strike and from the shadows, which is F and G, it will mark the enemies. In this case, it doesn't. But when you do mark an enemy, you'll be able to use Thrown Blade and Behind You, my S and D power. And when you do that, when the enemies are marked and you activate your S and D power, you automatically kill them. You know, as mentioned in the Cosmic Trial portion, as probably you saw too, I was able to one-shot the Hydra, Hulkbusters, and the Sentinels quite easily. It's because of that power. It's because of their marked. So what you do is activate F and G, which I'll show you right here. G, and when you do that, you mark them, and then all you do is activate S or D. Boom, and then you just one-shot those enemies. Okay, now what I usually do when it comes to bosses is you can't one-shot those with mark. What you can do is, whenever they are marked, what you do is use a movement power, which is Flow Like Water, which is, when you do that, you become stealth, and then you activate S or D, because according to this talent right here, Behind You and Thrown Blade, which is my S and D power, they deliver a critical hit if used from stealth, which my movement power does do stealth. See? So my advice is, whenever you fight a boss that's marked, all you do is, when they're marked, use your movement power, S, and then go back at it again with another power. When they're marked, move away, and then do D or S, whatever. But the key thing is, when you are fighting a boss, make sure they're marked, and before you use your S and D power, move away to be in stealth, and then activate your S or D power. That way you get that critical hit strike. And yeah, that concludes my build guide for Elektra. If you have any questions, leave it in the comment section below. If this video was helpful for you guys to get into Elektra, or also help you pass Cosmic Trial with Elektra, like I said, it's very simple with Elektra. You one-shot those, Hulkbuster, Hulkbuster, Hydra enemies, as well as Sentinel very easily, which enables you to do more damage to, you know, Ms. Madam Hydra and Red Skull. But leave it in the comment section below if this video was helpful for you guys to get into Elektra and pass Cosmic Trial. Any requests for certain characters, leave it in the comment section below. If you want to keep up to date with my channel, please do subscribe to my channel. Not only does it help the channel grow, but also means a lot to me as well. And yeah, that concludes my build guide for Elektra. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it, and on to the next one. Bye bye.